It's not gonna let me see where the camera is. Well, I'll have to get that worked out here in just a little bit. Regardless, regardless of the camera that is being used, the conversation is still a helpful conversation. I hope that some of you guys will see this in the near future. I know that I didn't announce it, um, but I'd like to talk to you. Also, want to check out this desk getting set up here just a few minutes ago. I thought, hey, let's see if the mics are working. Let's see what's going on. Um, got a lot that we'll need to get done with this space with lights and stuff in the near future. Anyway, so I wanted to talk about a house and a home. A house and a home. Recently, my family and I have been in the process of selling a house and purchasing another house and going through that selection process. And, I'm sure that you've been through similar things. But it's been interesting to me how many people have made a comment, something like, "Oh, I bet you guys are really looking forward to having a home again." And I know what they mean. "I bet you guys are really, really missing your home." And I know what they mean. But I've just heard the same conversation, the same kind of phrase, and there's some weight to it that I think is really unique that has kind of been tooling around in the back of my mind. And I thought, well, we'll talk about it for a second. In my mind, I guess there's a personal philosophy here that my home is all about the people. Um, my home is all about the people that surround me. A house is a place that I live, that the people dwell in. Sure, I get it. I know it might seem like semantics, but in my opinion, you build a house with however you want to do it, whatever kind of material you're going to use, whether it's a built house or it's a mobile home or it's a prefab house or it's a, um, uh, I don't know, uh, a hut. My buddy Matt is texting me. Let's see if this happens to be the one guy. Huh. Thanks. Um, so Matt, thanks, man. My buddy is saying that I have a made for kids button there, which is disabling the chat. I didn't realize that that does that now. Used to be that you would just, which tells you how much I've been plugged in recently. Used to be you would just uh, let YouTube know if if a conversation and the topic that you were going to be working on was suitable for children or not suitable for children. And so, yeah, I said it's suitable for kids. Um, so I will correct that in the near future. I don't know if I can. Maybe I can. Let's see here. Let's see if I can change. Um, it doesn't look like it's going to let me do it right now. It's got a restriction on it. Oh, let's see. I think I might be able to. Save, change, save. Let's see if that changes it on the fly. Thanks, Matt. So, a house is about a dwelling, a place that you keep your things, a place that you stay out of the elements, a place that you um, protect yourself, a place that you keep the people that you care about, a place that you sleep, a place that you wash yourself and eat your food, all these kind of things, right? A home is is deeper than that. A home is, I think, all about the people that you surround yourself with. It's there's a distinct difference. I've been in lots of places where people had lived for a long, long time. I don't know that I would have called them. I would consider a home, a place that you want to be, a place that is filled with a kind of love and mutual respect and care. There are a lot of people even living together in places that I don't know that I would call home. Anyway, without going down that rabbit hole too deeply, I wanted to kind of have the conversation about what is it that you're looking for in each category? What is it that you're looking for in each category? So, certainly, the house that you pick is important. When we sold our house, we were looking for some very specific things, and we were avoiding some other very specific things, and we were shopping for um, what would that place that um, we want to live, what does it look like, and you have different priorities, and I don't know how you guys work, but my wife and I, we had a kind of a priority list, and we had kind of pros and cons of all the different places we were considering, and we had it kind of charted out on this little weighted system on an Excel spreadsheet. My wife Laura is all into that kind of stuff, so I was I was kind of wearing her out with, well, what about this and what about that kind of stuff. But then, I unlocked the her interest by saying, "Hey, let's make a spreadsheet." She was totally in at that point. And we formed a weighted system, and we would kind of analyze based on those things. And so, what are those things that you are looking for when it comes to just a house? Maybe it's uh, maybe it's a aesthetic thing that you're looking for. Maybe it's a proximity to work thing. Maybe it's a walkability score that you're considering. Maybe it's about sustainability and, you know, uh, what can you do with the land that's there? Maybe is there water accessible? Maybe it's about who you're living around. There's all kinds of things that you could be considering. I'm curious, when you're looking for a house, maybe it's some of these guys that watch this. Most of you guys are into like training and preparedness and readiness and firearms and all this kind of stuff. Maybe it's how defensible a property is. Maybe it's, um, you know, who knows? What is it that you're really looking for when you're thinking about a house that you want to live in, that you want to rent or buy, or what is it that makes a house attractive to you? But more importantly, I want to I want you to think of for a second about what is it that you really care about when it comes to building a home, building a home. And you might differ from me, but I think this is all about the people that you surround yourself with. I really don't think it has very much to do about the physical house, though that's certainly a component and it's a consideration. I think building a home is all about the community that you plant yourself in. And does that have the soil necessary for roots to go down deep and for there to be that kind of care and sustainable long-term respect that will allow you and your family to it's an overused word, but to flourish, to grow, to be your best selves, to be productive. I think most of the time we think about this in terms of our immediate family, and we should certainly do that. We should be thinking about our children and our um, spouse and maybe uh, our close family, like our parents and our in-laws and our aunts and our uncles and our grandparents and those that if we're blessed to be in physical proximity to them, you know, this is important. But I think even more important than just thinking about your immediate family is what about the people, the broader community that surrounds your family? What are those influences? You pick that too. Maybe it's your neighborhood. Maybe it's the school. Maybe it's the church that you're a part of. Maybe it's other civic organizations that you associate with, but what is that broader community that has values that align with your values that you've plugged into, excuse me, that allow you to establish a home that will grow, that will flourish, that will allow each individual in that home to be the best, their best self. We're busy right now in our neck of the woods building a home in every sense of the word. Not so much a house, though we're certainly remodeling a house and moving in, and there are all kinds of things that we care about that. But more than anything, we're building a home. We're looking for ways to connect our family to meaningful connections that will allow each individual in our family to flourish. And that has to do with friendships. That has to do with people that will challenge us and strengthen us. And that has to do with people that we can challenge and that we can strengthen. And I want to ask you, how broadly do you look when you think about establishing your home? Do you just think about you, your spouse, your kids? Good. But nobody lives in a vacuum. What about, here comes the light, it's time to get out of here. You're going to hear a buzzing. What about those people that surround the community that surrounds each individual in your family? What is it that makes the place that you've chosen? You choose to live where you live. You choose to associate with who you associate with. What is it that makes your home intentional and productive and sets up your family and each individual within your family for the success that that they're made for, the purpose they're designed for? I want to encourage you to maybe engage in the comments and talk to me about your priorities in both your house and your home, but especially your priorities that you care about as you establish your home that will grow and benefit each individual in it. Hope you have a good one. Full candor. It's kind of off the cuff conversation, off the cuff thoughts. Maybe it's rambly. Sorry about that. Kind of checking in on this space. Also, YouTube has kind of said, hey, if you don't put up content, we're going to remove some of your monetization stuff. So I've got a bunch of stuff that's been banked for way too long, a bunch of footage from everything from testing firearms to trips that I've taken, to classes that I've taken, and those as I release articles will pop up here. We're going to get back into it. We've got to get some things finished in this move. I'll tell you down the road all the stuff that has happened over the past couple of years since this was very active, but it's been a lot. It's been a lot. It's not just COVID. It's not just all that stuff that people have been talking about. It's been there's been a lot of good stuff that has taken my focus and my family's focus, and just not left a lot of time for YouTube videos and articles recently. But it is something that is useful and it is something that I enjoy. And so I'm looking forward to getting back into it as the schedule allows. And I've also figured out the schedule's not just going to allow, so we're going to have to make time for it. Anyway, you guys have a good evening. Be well.